Welcome to Keeping It G with G, the podcast. I'm your host, Gian, but you can call me G. Hence, Keeping It G with G, the podcast. To keep it G means to maintain a level of respect for oneself and those around you. And that is why this show was created, to have an open, honest, vulnerable, and accountable discussion about the ups and downs of everyday life shit as it pertains to self-improvement, love, relationships, and motherhood. So in hopes of me sharing through personal experiences from the lessons I've learned and still learning, I pray that I can shed light and share some gems that will give you that extra push that you may need as we are all growing and learning through life. I'm here to reassure my listeners that it's okay to keep it G while on your journey. Now let's start the show. Welcome to episode 72 of Keeping It G with G, the podcast. Happy early Thanksgiving. I wanted to take the time out to dedicate this episode and encourage my listeners to write down and be vocal about the things that they are grateful for, with Thanksgiving being tomorrow. It should go something like this. I'll start it off. I'm grateful for God, for keeping me, guiding me, giving me grace, and molding me into the woman God wants me to be, not who I want to be. My daughter, Genesis. She really keeps me on my P's and Q's, especially in holding myself accountable. You never know what's cut out for you in regards to motherhood until you have that child. And that sounds cliche, but it's very, very true. She is the reason why I honor myself. I don't go against myself in any way, and why I refuse to settle. And these are some of the things that as she gets older, that I can't wait to instill in her. She's very smart. She asks a lot of questions already. Sometimes I'm just like, where does that even come from? But I make sure that I answer her questions to the best of her understanding, to the best of my ability, and I'm honest about it. She really forces me to be better and to never stop working towards becoming the best possible version of myself. And because of her, I'll never stop. My podcast. I'm grateful for this platform because it has helped me in so many ways in my own life. I'm very passionate about it. I always tell y'all that when I get behind this mic, I mean every word I say on each and every episode. I pride myself on being vulnerable and honest because it gives me a different type of strength and confidence as a woman. I do not get behind this mic and discuss anything that I've not been through or learned from firsthand. This is unapologetically G. Journeying and learning through life, and my podcast is a motivating force in addition to that. So I'm grateful to God for blessing me with this gift and giving me the audacity to be vulnerable and honest on my platform because it's reaching and helping you all too. I'm a vessel and I understand that, which is why I'm so damn passionate. Y'all don't understand. I really do this myself, the recording, the editing, the website design, social media posts and interactions. I am a one-woman band for now. And while it can be stressful at times, I don't do any complaining because it's enjoyable. It's so much more to it behind the scenes. And I'm forever learning. And I know it's going to pay off. I just have to take the time out to send out a big thank you to my listeners, the encouragers, people who tune in twice a week on Wednesdays and Sundays, people who've given their feedback, because it's because of you and God that I'm here. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm grateful for having the spirit of discernment. This is what I call a characteristic that a lot of people do not have, unfortunately. To have a spirit of discernment means to have the ability to judge well, whether it's the choices we make or the people we interact with. Discernment is the gift of recognizing the moral and practical consequences of our decisions. And I'm very strategic and selective in that way. I've developed a sense of weighing pros and cons when it comes to judging and decision making, asking myself, how will this affect myself and my child, positively or negatively, and moving according to that. A lot of this has to do with being aware of your capabilities, your worth, and what you're deserving of. And this is why I'm highly selective of my space, my energy, and my time. And our judgment can be off sometimes, so it's important to get the facts first and not prejudge so quick. But I thoroughly think shit through and weigh out all my options before making a decision. Of course, in the past, I've not always had this spirit of discernment. I feel like prayer and the only other thing that can strengthen your spirit of discernment is experience, is you going through your own fair share of falling on your ass over and over again because of a bad decision you made. That's it. You have to be tired of encountering the same roadblocks and understand that everything begins and ends with you. So self-awareness is also very, very important as it pertains to discernment. Knowing yourself. I feel as though this year has been very monumental for me in terms of getting to know G better. All across the board. Emotionally, spiritually, mentally, learning what I'm capable of, what I'm not capable of, what I will accept and what I won't. And as a woman, I've been doing so much unlearning, relearning, giving myself grace, and being accountable every step of the way, because that is extremely vital and important as it pertains to my growth. If you know and treat yourself well, so will other people. Never forget that. I'm grateful for the courage to set healthy boundaries. When you healthily set boundaries, there is a different type of peace that comes over you in your life. You have to set boundaries. You can't say yes to everything. You have to stand firm in it. You can't accept every invite. You can't be available all the time. You can say no because you have that right. There is a blessing in self-preservation, and I do that very often. Healthily, of course. If I don't feel like it, I'm not, and I won't budge. You are not obligated to do anything you do not feel like doing. And the people who don't respect your boundaries and get upset at your saying no are not people who need to be in your space. And there are also people who have no boundaries themselves. And that's a red flag. Take heed to that. Set your boundaries, stand firm in them, and do not feel bad about it. Honoring myself. In honoring myself, this means my mind, my emotions, my being, my worth, love of self, and acting like it. And not apologizing for it because I have that right. And I mean this humbly. I have to make sure G is straight first, because if I'm not, no one is. Not my kid, not the people who lean on me for support. So I honor myself first so that I can serve others from a full cup. Holding myself and others accountable. Looking myself in the mirror and calling myself out on my shit, whether good or bad. Being accountable is like watering, feeding your spirit, and giving yourself some sunlight so that you can continue to grow and blossom like a plant. it's necessary. I discuss accountability a lot on the podcast. So my frequent listeners are probably tired of me saying that and speaking about accountability, but I just want you guys to know how important it is. And for those who don't frequently listen, I'll let you know this. Being and holding yourself accountable is one of the quickest ways for you to grow and become the best possible version of yourself. But you have to be prepared, and you have to be mature, and you have to have the willpower to want to do it. It has to come from within. But it is one of the quickest ways for you to grow and blossom into the best possible version of yourself. It starts with you. I'm grateful for having the courage to surrender. I said earlier that I was grateful to God, and I know that the willpower to surrender came from spirit because I'm a very hands-on person, and I'm passionate. I'm a little spoiled, and I just be wanting things to go right. And sometimes I feel like if I have all hands on deck at all times, that's the only way things will pan out how I want them to. But that is a very selfish way of thinking and living, and it's stressful. And I had to learn to adopt a new attitude and understand that I can only do what I can. I have to learn to surrender and let God handle the rest, because in the end, His plan will prevail over mine. No matter what plans I think I have or made for myself, Spirit has the last say. You have to learn how to surrender, do what you're capable of, have faith, and stay in prayer. So yeah, that's that. I just wanted to take the time out to share with you guys what I'm grateful for during this holiday season and for the fourth quarter of 2020. And also, there will be no episode this Sunday. There will be no new episode this Sunday. I want you guys to enjoy the holiday weekend. I want to enjoy the holiday weekend and just, retreat and relax and reflect. And so with that, episodes will resume Wednesday, December 2nd. Episodes will resume Wednesday, December the 2nd. But be sure to catch up on last week's Sunday episode with Black Girls Can Heal. It was very informative. I learned a lot myself. So be sure to check that out. Don't forget to subscribe, to share with your family and friends, and to leave reviews. I tried to keep this episode very short and sweet, since some of you guys are probably, off or getting off of work or whatever. For Thanksgiving tomorrow. So again, happy early Thanksgiving. I hope you guys enjoy it and spend time with the people who love and care and support you the most, and enjoy Thanksgiving tomorrow. And then I will talk to you guys for the next episode of Keeping It G with G, the podcast. Happy Thanksgiving.